What's up, everybody? Today is Monday, October 12th, and kind of bittersweet today. It's a pretty nice day. It's a little cool, starting to get a little drizzly, but we're coming to the end of the growing season. It's been an awesome growing season. It's been such a great first season of being on YouTube, so thank you for all of your support. Today I want to talk to you about some of the plants that we have that go along with the landscape. I always talk about the grass, but the landscape, the flowers, those are the things that really make your lawn pop. So today we're going to talk about those things, and we've got some weather coming. The low temperatures are going to be in the low 30s this week. So the growing season is pretty much winding down. All the beautiful flowers, those things are not going to survive. So some of them I like to take inside. As you can see, we don't have a standard Chicago landscape. I like the backyard to look like Florida, so I want it to be tropical from pretty much May until about mid-October. So we're hitting the end of that growing season. So we're going to take a look around. I'm going to show you some of the things that we have in our landscape that makes it feel like a tropical landscape, even though our climate does not quite cooperate with that tropical theme. When it comes to annual flowers, these are my absolute favorite, and these are called sun patiens. You can buy these, I think Lowe's has them, Walmart has these available, but sun patiens are really awesome. They're a hybrid New Guinea impatient, which typically thrives in shade, but sun patiens, they do pretty well in the sun too. So this area gets about half sun, so morning time it gets sun, and in the afternoon it gets shade. They start very tiny, but then as the growing season goes on, they get really big and they turn into a gigantic bed of flowers. So I think there are 11 total that this started with, and they all morph into one, and they make a huge pillow of flowers that's really beautiful. These are used all over by landscapers, and they are my favorite. Another one of my favorite annual flowers are these. These are called begonias. And again, they start very tiny, so you don't have to put a lot of them into a pot, but as the growing season goes on, they get really big. They're relatively cold hardy, so it's mid-October right now. We've had lows that have reached the 30s, and they're still okay. You can tell they're not thriving like they were before, but red begonias, these are an absolute must if you want that really poppin' landscape with lots of vibrant color. Another annual flower that gives you outstanding color are these. These are red geraniums. And again, they start pretty decent size, but if you feed them weekly and you give them consistent water and you put them in good sun, these like almost full sun. I have them over here right now just because we had some guests over, and this is where they look nice when guests are here. When guests aren't here, I put them out in the good sun to make sure they get enough sun and they can thrive and make lots of flowers. So red geraniums add tons of color, really cool texture. These things are just beautiful. So my project for today is going to be to take some of these tropical plants, which like I said, we're going to get temperatures in the 30s. So if I don't do anything about moving these, they're going to die, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to dig them out. I'm going to put them in a new container. I'm going to spray them to make sure none of those bugs or any of the eggs that they may have laid onto these plants come inside of our house. So I got some good products that you can use if you want to take any outdoor plants and bring them inside. I don't know about you, but I don't like having a bunch of insects and spiders and stuff in my house. So there's some easy things that you can do to make sure that you're not bringing those things in. So I'm going to dig these up, put them in a new pot, bring them inside. I purchased a grow light, and we got to supplement some of the daylight that they normally get. They like that nice tropical type sun, so the grow light that I have is going to simulate that, and we're going to keep these things going all winter. That way when next spring comes, we can get this place looking tropical again without having to buy all new plants. Another one of my absolute favorite tropical plants to put into the landscape, again from about May till about mid-October, is this, and this is called a white bird of paradise. These things are beautiful. You'll see them in Southern California, Florida, any kind of tropical climate. And you can buy them. I think I bought this at Home Depot. It was like $10. I bought it 2 years ago. I kept it indoors all last winter. I planted it in the ground, and it keeps its roots pretty tight, so it's easy to dig it out, put it back in the pot, and bring it inside for the winter time. So again, white bird of paradise. These things are awesome. They're pretty easy to take care of, and they grow like a grass. So this is the newest shoot right here. So one will shoot up in the middle, the leaf will open up, everything gets pushed to the side, and then eventually a new one will come up in the middle again, and that's how they grow. These are technically classified as a grass, just like the spindle palm and any palm tree that you see. People like to call them trees, but actually they're considered grasses because of the way that they grow. Last and certainly not least, when it comes to our tropical plants that we have here at our house, is our 14-foot Majesty palm tree. And like I said, nothing makes me feel better than being outside in a warm day near palm trees, so that's why I put these up for about 6 months out of the year. Next spring, I'm gonna do a complete video on how you can make your own 14-foot palm tree. The process is actually not that difficult, and it's not very expensive. So right now I'm gonna dig up this spindle palm behind me. It's pretty easy to do this. I kept the original container that I bought this in, so I'm just gonna dig up the plant. The roots stay in a nice little ball, so they don't expand a whole lot. So I'm gonna dig that out, put it back in the original container, and I've already sprayed this for bugs, so I'm gonna take it down to the basement, and that's where I'm gonna supplement some light. So I'll have a grow light above it with a couple other tropical plants, and I'll be able to keep them good throughout the winter time. That way I can bring them back out here and keep that tropical landscape going from year to year, instead of having to buy brand new plants every single year. So I'm gonna do the same thing for the white bird of paradise plant directly behind me. Same thing, just take a container, dig that thing out, drop it in the container, bring it inside. One common issue that people have when they have indoor plants is they overwater them, or they don't have drainage in the bottom of the pots that they use, and then the roots of those plants sit in that water, they get root rot, and they die. So I'm gonna dig this out, make sure I've got good holes in the bottom of the container. You don't need to water it that much, so I'm gonna dig this out and put it inside. So I've got 3 different products that I use on these plants to make sure that we keep the bugs out. The first one is this. It's called 8 Insect Control for Home and Garden. It's ready to use. You just spray this onto the leaves of these plants, and this kills the bugs and the spider mites and everything that could possibly be on these leaves. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I also use to put on these leaves is this All Seasons Horticultural and Dormant Spray Oil. And this controls insects and disease, so the plant doesn't get disease and it's not bringing in insects. So I add this with the 8 spray made by Bonide. This stuff's awesome. I used this last year. The plants did great, and I was able to put them back outside again. The last thing that I use is this, and this goes in the dirt. This is Systemic Houseplant Insect Control, and it protects your plants from damage. And same thing, it's gonna keep any of those bugs that may be in the dirt from getting out and getting into your house. So if you want to grow your stuff inside throughout the wintertime, you can do that. It's going to work really well if you can give it enough water, but not too much. So don't soak out those roots. That's typically what people do, is they give it too much water and then they wonder why their plants die inside in the winter. And second thing is identify what type of light you have. If you can put these near a window that get pretty good natural light, you don't need to supplement the light. Down here, it's in our basement, it's kind of dark. So I'm gonna supplement the light with a grow light. I'll put it on a timer and I'll give it about 10 hours of light a day. And when the springtime comes, about early May, I'll be able to take these back outside again and enjoy a beautiful tropical landscape. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I appreciate it. Hopefully you can get some of your plants, keep them from dying, bring them inside, enjoy them all year long.